April 18th, 9:15 a.m., District Court, Defending Lobby, number 3. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. We are here in the first day of the trial, and I really wish I could get this to type faster, but there does not appear to be an option for that. So, let's continue. You okay, Athena? You've been really antsy ever since we got here. I'm just excited. This is my first real court case at all. Yeah, a real ball of excitement she is. I know just what she needs. Athena! Eek! Did you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices? I'm just trying to show you the best way to relieve your pre-trial jitters. By scaring the daylights out of me? No, I find that shouting, "I'm fine," in a loud voice really relieves stress. It's part of my Court of Steel voice workout, and a must before every trial. You want me to shout? Here? That's right. Here. I'll go first, then you try. I apologize and I'm fine. Alright, I'm Athena Sykes. And I'm fine. I think that actually worked. I thought it might help. Always works for me. An old friend of mine from junior high and I say it all the time. I see. A proven remedy to calm the soul. I like it. Yeah, how about we finish off with a race around the courthouse? The point is to relieve stress, not get totally exhausted. Whoa, what's with all the rocket, you two? He looks much better in a suit than he did in that hobo outfit. Ah, Mr. Light. This little voice workout. Hey, what's with the suit? Oh, this. I was thinking about getting my attorney's badge back, that's all. That's all? That's huge news. But why now? I have a feeling I'll be needed in the courthouse room again sometime soon. But we can talk about that another time. No fair. Inquiring minds that want to know. But wow. I'm so used to him in his usual laid-back clothes. That suit makes him look like $1 million. By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case? Yeah, he's serving time, but before that, he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology? That's right. I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his conviction. Using the power of suggestion, he can make even the most sour defendants confess. Psychology in the courtroom. Been hearing a lot about that lately. So, he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say. They also say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. Ack! I knew he was gonna be bad news. Hahaha. It's probably just hyperbole. At least I hope for your sake. Yeah, this is a hard word to say sometimes. Hyperbole. Wait, so is it true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. If you'd like to keep that head of yours attached to the rest of your body, that is. Sorry about that, I have an inch in my left ear. Yikes! Better tone down my Court of Steel too. So, are you all ready? It might be a good idea to check the court record again before stepping into the ring. Right, Mr. Wright? But I'm fine. I'll be watching from the gallery. Good luck. Thanks. Okay, let's do this. The odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low. But that's nothing new. Believe in our clients, seek the truth. That's all we can do. Hang in there, Miss Mayor Tenma. Here comes justice. Alright. April 18th, 9:30 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 4. Ooh, number 4 again, huh? All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Damien Tenma. Court of Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor. I know that big, booming voice anywhere. As chipper as ever, eh, Mr. Justice? But who's the young lady next to you? I'm Athena Sykes, Mr. Justice's junior partner, and fresh out of law school. Well now, Philippines too, eh? Excellent. Makes the old man feel young again. Now for the prosecution. Whoa. It appears the prosecution is not ready yet. Never fear, for I shall explain. It is just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor. The prosecutor, for this case, is being escorted from prison as we speak. Prison? Oh yes, of course. I almost forgot that he is currently serving time.
Yup, Prosecutor Blackwell's an inmate. But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
Who's that with his back to us over there? That's him. I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackwell. Is the prosecution ready? Enough jabbering. Get on with it already. Ah, of course. Forgive me. Why are the people related to this case so scary? Well, Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement, if you please. Ah! What's the matter? Must we continue to fritter away time like this? It's all right there in the indictment. An opening statement would be pointless. Pointless? Oh, well... Looks like the cat, or in this case, the prosecutor, has the judge's tongue. But, we need an opening statement as an overview of the case at hand. Well then, your baldness, if it's so very important, well, you do the honors. Who? Me? There's a term for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things, and then decide that they no longer want them once it's theirs. A selfish old fool. Huh? What? Huh? Wait, was that the prosecution's opening statement? Old dotards such as you are a plague upon the young. I pity your poor grandchildren, or is it great-grandchildren? All these years, I thought the opening statements was the prosecutor's job. But as I said, I suppose I could give it a try. Might be a nice change of pace. What? You actually fell for that? That must have been the power of suggestion that Mr. Wright was talking about. The opening statement, huh? Let's see here. The victim was one Rex Cayubai, alderman of Nine Tails Vale. And the defendant, Damien Tenma, mayor of Tenma Town, is accused of his murder. And why, if we tell, was the mayor arrested? His principal on a murder weapon. Plus, he had a motive: the elimination of the biggest roadblock to a municipal merger. The caretaker and the secretary and other potential suspects both have alibis. And his daughter, who was also in the vicinity at the time of the incident, has no motive. So, in a nutshell, I have to say the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible. Bravo, your boldness, your years of experience shine bright like your head. Ho ho ho, Flood will get you everywhere. He's playing Simon Says with the judge. Moving right along now, let's hear from our first witness for today, Detective Fulbright. Witness, please state your name and occupation. I am the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I also be keeping this tabs on old Blackwell here. I also heard you would provide protection if it ever came to that. It would seem that I have been sorely underestimated. Wait, who's protecting who from what? Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their life around, even old Blackwell here. Fulbright, save your platitudes for funerals. Get on with your statement. Ha ha ha, that's the spirit. Justice must be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. Let me hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I will never give up on you. Prosecutor Blackwell doesn't seem to intimidate Detective Fulbright. Oh, you know what they say, ignorance is bliss. Oh, so that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackwell. He's so oblivious. Now, let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright. You got it. But first, I'd like to say to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail. And he is a character, alright. About the murder. Alderman Kayobai was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tinma, were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman Kayobai was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Damien Tinma attacked him, his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But a sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck back. Alderman Kayobai had been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug? That's right. The accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. Here's the autopsy report to prove it. Kayobai's autopsy report added to the court record. Cause of death: stabbed with a spear. Estimated time of death: around 3:20 p.m. The victim had been in a drug-induced slumber. And the victim managed to attack his attacker despite being impaled by a spear? That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast. Don't try to brush it all off by saying the alderman had been a pro wrestler. Do you really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear? Never heard of the incredible feats of which man is capable of in a pinch, have you? Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain. It sharpens their senses. I used to talk about with a former wrestler I met in a clink. I don't know. This still sounds like a little far-fetched. Does it now? Then perhaps we should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade. I didn't sign up for this. And so your life is spared. For now. Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die. Haha. My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof. Or my name isn't Fulbright. I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. The accused is Sprint's wrong weapon, and he's the one person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence. When you agree, your boldness? The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute. He has the judge leaning on toward a guilty verdict, and the trial has just barely begun. What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks the murder for the purpose of freeing Tenma Taro from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can think of no real reason to show interest in that backwoods bird. Perhaps he's a complete nutter and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he is a raving mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman. That man was a strange one, alright. I heard he went to a blood drive instead of donating to make a withdrawal. Order. There will be no gossiping in my court. Your boldness. Please take a grand gander and you feel those charms busted across his cranium. I hear they are meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tenma Taro. Then again, perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold, the lunatic appears poised to lunge at you at any moment. Eep!
Hold it!
The rumors and quirks of Mayor Tenma have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement, I think. Come to think of it, such things don't seem relevant to the case, do they? The prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud. Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here. Whew, thanks for that lifeline, Athena. Careful, Apollo. He has the judge dancing in the palm of his hand. The power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impressions to suit his objectives. This guy really is bad news. In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself, despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? None other than this statue right here. It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle. Two yokai to be exact. On one side is the nine-tailed fox, and on the other, Tenma Taro. Quite interesting, if you think about it. It is as though this very case were rendered in art. Fox and demon statue updated in the court record. The weapon used to bludgeon the mayor. The mayor's blood was found on it, but no prints could be lifted. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Okay, cross-examination time. Alright, I'm not going to press everything, that would just take too long. I'm going to present Oh, we can't do the look around it? Okay. There's the fox and there's the demon. Okay. I think it's part vulture or something. Interesting. If the alderman used this to attack the mayor, he would have had his fingerprints on it, so...
Objection!
Did the alderman really strike the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the alderman struck them back after the mayor put a spear through him. But the statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory. It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well. Let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective's statue theory. There were no fingerprints. There were no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. And if you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves. Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed. If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? This can't be happening. Did I arrest the wrong man? You did it, Apollo. You know Detective Fulbright's off his high horse. Well, it's just one point in our favor. Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the alderman? Well, if it wasn't the alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. You mean there was a third party there in the Fox Chamber? Exactly. And this could be the big break we've been looking for. There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackwell, would you care to respond to the defendant's assertion? The least you could do is look at me while you begin being dismissive. Your mind is as dull as an unhorned blade, Justice Dono. Justice Dono? He's been watching too many samurai flicks. It would take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. A weapon such as you has no hope against my superior swordsmanship. This is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackwell. There's a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints in the statue. You might recall the blood-stained cloth found in the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happens the blood was the mayor's. So, what are you getting at? Hone your mind, boy. What was the blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle and you shall see that the hole you thought you found is but an illusion. Now let's see. How was that cloth used? Was it used to wrap the statue, I guess? Maybe the alderman wrapped the statue in the cloth. In short, he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor. Ah! Precisely. Bully for you, boy. It was nothing. Apollo, don't let him start manipulating you, too. You just closed the hole for the prosecution. I did? I did. Right. Now the statue wrapped in cloth will leave no fingerprints as plain as day. But this also proves there was no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back. Oops. Arg! Fucking demon statue updated in the court record. The weapon used to bludgeon the mayor wrapped in a large cloth. 2 pages. Now, do you see how dull your mind is? Hang on. Okay. The statue has traces of blood from the defendant Damien Kemna on it. It was apparently wrapped in a large cloth on which the defendant's blood was also found. No fingerprints could be lifted from the cloth. Okay, that still doesn't make any sense. How would the mayor have had the strength to grab the cloth grabbing the statue and then strike back at the mayor. That makes no sense whatsoever. He'd just been impaled by a spear. I'll make sure to sharpen it next time. A particularly frightening inmate once told me that he always tenderly honed his blades before he went to work, like the samurai of yore. Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me. Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time. Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef? It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all. I was kind of attached to that hole. Now what? Apollo, I just thought of something. If they didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue, who is to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mayor with it? Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left prints on it. Humph. Then who, pray tell, struck the mayor with a statue? Please, illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady. There's only one answer. The real killer. Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence have you? Oh, I'll give you evidence, all right. Athena, are you sure about this? To quote your words, Apollo, I'm fine. Take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks, allegedly from yokai, we found in the scene. I believe they were from the third party who struck the mayor with that statue. Is the defense actually suggesting that some sort of monster killed the alderman? That alderman? That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
No, Athena. You just lost what little credibility we had left. Ah! Sorry. Guess I got carried away. Mr. Justice, we've no time to deal with objections between members of the defense. Sorry, Your Honor. It's just this kid still... well, a kid. Ouch. You meanie. I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright. So, is this court to believe the feathers and tracks were from a yokai, as you put it? No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. The real killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman. Interesting. Now, why do you suppose the killer would do that? Why indeed. Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is. Ouch! I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright. Oh, Fulbright. Explain to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks. What? You mean you can explain all that? Ha ha ha. Our investigation prowess is without equal. I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession. Very well, let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and tracks. Alright, another testimony, huh? Feathers and tracks. There's a title case that centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the protesters. To restore the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer. Those feathers and tracks soaked the villagers' fears? Absolutely. He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds. Those feathers only gave weight to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenma Taro, that is. Tenma who? Tenma Taro, the legendary demon locked away in the villagers' forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black-feathered demon. and thus were they blinded to other, more plausible explanations. I wanted someone to explain to me why he's wearing clothes.
Hold it!
Hold on for a second. Before we start letting our imaginations run wild, isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect? Mr. Justice, please explain yourself. On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at Kayabai Manor. And as part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenma Taro. Obviously, this person is much more likely suspect than any legendary demon.
Objection!
Dullard, you are playing right into the killer's mind games. What? Listen here. The feathers and tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believe the murder to be the work of the real Tenma Taro. However, the police believe that the person in the Tenma Taro suit is the killer. The defendant sought to solve this confusion in order to deflect blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman, and thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed in the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
The evidence speaks for itself. Fulbright. Wait. Right. It was the mayor's last-ditch effort to stop the opposition before the things got crazy. The Amazing Nine Tails was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known masked wrestlers and the hometown favorite. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of injustice. But do the people of Nine Tails Vale really believe a yokai is behind the crime? Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I must say, a crime that preys upon innocent, impressionable minds. Just so, a particularly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. The innocent of heart are the easiest prey. You don't say. Was this inmate a con artist? No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually feel sorry for the poor chap. Wait, so he wasn't a predator, but rather the prey? Yes, well... Now then, the defense may proceed with their cross-examination. Right. Okay. This is pretty easy, actually.
Hold it!
But it doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why top it off with murder? What do you mean? You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stoke the villagers' fears. If so, then why not stop there? Why murder Alderman Kayubai? Excellent point. It is, isn't it? You want to agree with there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Perhaps the killing was on the spur of the moment. You're saying it wasn't premeditated? From the outset, I had no intention of paying heed to any of your babble. However, the fact is, the mayor made a startling discovery. A startling discovery? Why don't I like the sound of that? Alderman Kayubai's secret identity. Apollo. I think Prosecutor Blackwell has figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But even if he has, why would it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder? This is not good. This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the Amazing Nine Tails. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene. Oh my, why would it have been there? But why would it have been there? The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-murder movement. Need I say more? I noticed when he turns around, we don't hear his trains clinking. You think we'd be able to hear that? Well, could it really be? Your bonus has had an epiphany, I see. Our victim, Rex Kayabai, was the amazing Ninetales. And the mayor's discovery of this fact was his motive for murder. No! Order! What a shocking development. A motive clearer than a crystal clear. What do we do now, Apollo? I didn't think they'd be to tie the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder. At last we've reached my viewpoint. Why did the Alderman have to forge the secret identity? Does it not pique your interest, your boldness? I admit it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona. Just to secretly participate in the anti-murder movement. Very astute of you, your boldness. Right. Now take a look at this. Whoa. If you value your dearest life, you emerge from Nandale's Vale with Tenma Town. This blackmail letter was found in Alderman Kayubai's pocket. What? At present, the Alderman's wife is in the hospital. And that letter was clear evidence that the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life. Wait, did the blackmail letter sent to Mayor Tenma go missing? Right after the Alderman's murder? Did he maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder and planted it in the Alderman's pocket? It's possible, but we don't have any proof that that's what happened. Talk about being up the creek without a paddle. Blackmail letter added to the court record. A threatening letter discovered in one of Alderman Kayubai's pockets. Mayor Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he just left out of planting the yokai things. Yeah. Don't tell anyone about this threat. You can see your dear son is dead. Okay. But he was knocked out cold by his sudden decision to kill the amazing Ninetales. So it was the amazing Ninetales that counter-attack that brought the entire crime to light. Wait a sec. Fulbright's claiming that the mayor killed the alderman after planting the yokai evidence. And then the mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that? Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony. Mayor Tenma killed the sleeping alderman after planting the feathers and the tracks. Okay. This.
Objection!
Detective Fulbright, this sense of justice is anything but fair. What's this? You dare question my justice again? Yes, and I'm going to prove it to you. Take a look at this photo. This is the crime scene photo. And just what does this prove? It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted. But I already told you, They were planted before the murder. The defendant planted the yokai evidence that was knocked out while killing his victim. But that would be impossible. If you look right here, it's clear when the feathers and tracks were left at the scene. Okay, I think this is it.
Take that!
Aren't you just pointing out to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice? Yes. See how the feathers are on top of the blood, and the tracks were made in blood? In other words, the yokai evidence could have only resulted after the murder. And the mayor must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman. But you said yourself, the mayor had been knocked unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant any evidence at all. Therefore, it must have been someone else besides the mayor and the alderman and the crime scene. There must be some mistake. Order! What is your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you? Ha ha ha! Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness's testimony for you. You do? But how? Was my vaunted sense of justice really just half-baked? He's taking this really hard. Mr. Justice, what is this testimony regarding a third party that you claim to have? I have it right here, Your Honor. It's the sworn testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. The witness, Jinxie Tenma, saw a yokai in the hallway after stumbling upon the scene. It was the demon Tenma Taro. He's the source of those feathers and tracks. Would somebody please say something? The defense will explain to the court exactly what he means. You dare to mock this court and justice itself? You unfit to bear your name, boy. Your bonus. It appears no defense attorney here is delirious from exhaustion. That's such a funny face to make here.
Hold it!
Apollo, think of something quick before you're held in contempt of court. What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please hear me out. Very well, Mr. Justice, I'm all ears, but you'd better explain yourself well. What was this yokai you were talking about? It's all in this statement here. Jinxie Tenma asserts that she saw Tenma Taro. After she discovered the crime scene and called the police, she came around a corner and in the hall. It was around here that she saw Tenma Taro fleeing toward the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is the one who left those feathers and tracks behind, intentionally or otherwise. What? How incredibly unjust. Why haven't you heard about this before? This is proof to someone else. So the mayor isn't the killer? It was all set up? The prosecutor is still convicted for not all. Apollo, the momentum has shifted in our favor. Good. Now let's keep it that way.
Objection!
Little do you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken. Man, I really need to stop the video soon, but I really can't right now. There's another witness coming up soon, and before I do that, go there, that's about in the video. My sword? I didn't know I had one, it's quick. Are you implying that there's a problem with my claim? Consider this. if that yokai impersonator had indeed fled toward the foyer, that fool and that fop would have seen him. Fool and fop? Oh, you mean Filch and LaBelle. Now that you mention it. Both Phineas Filch and Florence LaBelle were in the foyer at the time. But they haven't stated that they saw a yokai, have they? Did you ever consider that that yokai was but a figment of a scared little girl's imagination? Or why didn't those two see the Tenmataro impersonator that passed by? Why don't we ask them ourselves? I was just about to say that myself. No, really, I was. The defense would like to call Mr. Phineas Filch, caretaker of Coyote Minor, to the stand. I just know he must have seen something. I suppose we can't ignore the fact that the little girl believes she saw a monster. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackwell. I understand that Mr. Filch is enjoying a nap out in the lobby. I knew that Tendukai was a rare find. But when we captured him, I didn't think he'd end up a witness. Do with him as you will. Did he just say captured? No, wait. I don't want to know. Very well then. Bailiff, please go wake Mr. Filch and escort him to the witness stand. Okay. That is when I were actually in the video. I'm well over 46 minutes. So, next time we shall continue the trial. But until then, go ahead and hit that like button. And I will see you all next time. So till then, take care.